Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm Taylor Slevin with the Slevin Real Estate Group here in Arizona. Whether you're buying your first home, getting ready to sell, or you're just here to learn more about the real estate process, you have made it to the right place. I have been lucky enough to have helped buyers and sellers to accomplish their real estate goals for the last 7 years, and my entire goal with this channel is to help make the buying and selling a home feel a little less overwhelming. Every week, my partner Shauna and I create videos to break things down into simple, easy to understand tips. With that said, let's go ahead and get started. If you're thinking about selling your home, I feel pretty confident that I can guess that you've also been wondering how much money you're going to earn from your sale. As much as I wish that I could tell you that selling your home for $500,000 means that you're going to earn $500,000, the reality is that that's just not the case. We have a handful of expenses that have to get paid out, and then you'll receive your actual proceeds. Now, these aren't really hidden costs. They're just things that a lot of people either don't know about or don't think about during the prep process for listing a home. So today I'm going to walk you through exactly what those costs are, why they exist, and hopefully keep you from having any surprises on closing day. And don't worry, this video is not meant to scare you out of selling your home. People successfully sell homes and earn lots of money every single day. My goal is simply to help you understand where your money is going so that you can plan ahead and be fully prepared for your home sale. Let's jump into it. Item number 1, and this is probably going to be the most expensive thing that you're going to have during your home sale process, and that is paying off your current mortgage balance. For example, let's say that you know you can sell your home for $500,000, but you have a mortgage balance of $250,000 left on the mortgage from when you first bought the home. That means that automatically your net proceeds from sale are going to be reduced to $250,000. Now, the thing to know here is that your mortgage balance always gets paid first. So that $250,000 in this example that you owe is going to be removed right off the top from your proceeds. So again, $500,000 less $250,000 leaves you with $250,000 left over that you can estimate for your proceeds thus far. There are other expenses to come, so don't stop the video here, but $250,000 in equity is actually a great number. Expense number 2, and usually the second most expensive thing that you're going to pay, is realtor commissions. This amount is always negotiable to the agent. You're going to meet with a listing agent, sit down, talk about all the ways that they're going to market your property, all the things that they're going to do to sell your home, and then they're going to ask you to pay them a certain amount. This amount is not set in stone. You can negotiate with that agent and say, you know what, I actually don't want to give you 3%. I would like to negotiate to 2.5%. What can we maybe remove from the mix of the marketing or anything else to make that happen? The buyer's agent will likely ask you to pay their commission as well. So a buyer's agent's going to bring you an offer. Part of that offer usually includes paying that agent a commission. When you're sitting down to talk with your listing agent, you're asking them what the average commission paid to the buyer's agent for most homes in the area is. They should have an understanding or at least an idea of what most sellers are paying to the buyer's agent so that you can then calculate, okay, I've agreed to pay 2.5% to my listing agent. Now I'm going to agree to pay 2%, let's say, is the average in the area to the buyer's agent, and then run those numbers in your calculated net sheet so that you understand what you're actually making on the sale. Number 3, certainly an important one. This is a more generic term, but your closing costs. This can include title fees, escrow fees, recording fees, wire fees, document fees, etc., etc. There's a multitude of different things that can be in here, but essentially what you are paying for is the title company to do their job of clearing the title, making sure that the sale is recorded with the county, and making sure that your buyer is not a fraudulent person and that they really do have the money available and ready to purchase this home. They are going to be the ones that handle your closing documents. They are going to be the ones that provide you a preliminary title report. These are the fees that you are paying to have all of that work done. These fees can vary from title company to title company. So again, when you're sitting down with your listing agent, make sure that you're asking them, do they have a preferred title company that they would suggest? And if so, can they provide a list of these fees up front? They should be able to, so that you can have a rough estimate for what these closing costs are going to look like for you in your area. All right, the 4th expense that we're going to go over is your HOA fees. So if your property is located within an HOA community, then you're going to have some fees that you'll pay at closing to the HOA themselves. Some of these fees are going to be negotiable, and some of them are standard paid by the seller or buyer, at least here in Arizona. Every state's going to be different, but in Arizona, the seller is automatically going to be asked to pay the disclosure fee only. There are transfer fees and capital improvement fees that can be negotiated as part of the offer from the buyer. So make sure when you get an offer that you're asking the agent, are they asking you to pay any of the additional HOA fees? Every HOA community is different with the fees that they have, both in amount and what type of fees. So before you go to list your home for sale, you can contact your HOA community, request a list of their resale fees, and take a look at those. Ask your agent to help explain which ones are automatically going to be paid by you, if any, and which ones are negotiable, so that you can build those required fees into your seller net sheet, have a better understanding of where you're going to land with your proceeds at the end of the sale. Number 5, property taxes. The title company, part of what they are going to do is take a look at the property taxes that are owed, and they are going to prorate either you paying or a credit back to you up until the day of closing. So if you're behind on paying your taxes, they are going to charge you for that back payment up until the day of close. If you've already prepaid your taxes ahead of time, then you'll get a credit back on the settlement statement for that amount that you've paid from the closing date through when you paid to. So again, make sure that you know, have you paid your taxes recently? Do you owe back taxes? And if so, what's a rough estimate for that number so that you can calculate that into your expenses and understand better what those proceeds are going to look like at the time of closing. Next up is seller concessions. If you're not familiar with seller concessions, that is okay. Seller concessions are money that the buyer is asking from you, the seller, to go towards paying the buyer's closing costs. Maybe they're buying down their interest rate. Maybe they're prepaying their HOA fees, buying a home warranty. There's a variety of things that these seller concessions can be used for. The thing to know is that seller concessions are not automatically included in every offer. If it's a buyer's market, we see seller concessions more frequently. If it's a seller's market, meaning that the seller controls the market, there's more buyers than there are sellers. Generally, we don't see as many concessions at play. But depending on what type of market you're in, you may be asked for seller concessions from a buyer. Now, there's no set amount for these, so unfortunately, there's no standard here, but talk to your listing agent. They should have an idea of what the standard amount being asked for in your area, and then you can calculate that number into your estimated net seller sheet so that you understand how those seller concessions are going to affect you. Seller concessions can be as high as 6% or more, so it's a pretty good chunk of change that you definitely want to account for. So make sure that you're having that conversation with your agent to fully understand what seller concessions could look like for you. This next one is one that slips through the cracks for most sellers when they're looking at selling their home, and that's estimating costs for repairs. Once you go under contract with a buyer, they are generally going to have a home inspection done. Once they have that home inspection done, they're going to send you a document that requests any repairs that they want made in the home. Now, sometimes they can ask for the actual repairs to be done. Sometimes they can ask for a credit in lieu of repairs, or they may just ask for a purchase price reduction to offset the expense. That's going to depend on the buyer. This is always a negotiable thing, so you are going to respond to that request, but usually you're going to be doing something, whether it's repairs, credit, or price reduction for your home. So make sure that you're talking with your agent to have an understanding. Are there any repairs that your agent is seeing that need to be done? Maybe the roof is 30 years old, so we want to estimate to get that done at closing because it's likely going to be something the buyer is going to ask for. Maybe your agent tells you, hey, you know what? I think that they're probably going to ask for a new dishwasher because your dishwasher is broken and non-functional. Let's go ahead and estimate for that up front so that you know and have that money set aside and aren't expecting to keep that in your pocket at the end of the day. So again, inspection repairs can be a hard one to get a finger on, but make sure that you're estimated something for them so that when you get to that portion of the contract, you're not completely blown away with the new expense that's coming out of nowhere. Last but certainly not least is the cost of prepping your home for sale. Depending on the condition that your home is in, this could be a pretty small amount, but likely you're going to pay something to prep your house to get it on market. That could be costs of cleaning. It could be landscaping expenses. Maybe you have to paint a few bedrooms or paint the whole house, interior, exterior, right? We need to make sure that the house is in grade A condition before going to market. So if you have an empty house, I recommend staging. Your agent may or may not, but that's an expense that you want to account for up front. So make sure that you understand, walk the house with your listing agent to know what things do you need to do to prep the home for sale. Do they have any contacts if you need them for handyman, contractors, people who can help get these things done? And then get some quotes. That way you fully understand what these costs to you are going to be and what they look like so that you can sell your home and understand exactly what you're going to be walking out the door with. At the end of the day, when you're selling your house, you should focus more on your net earnings than solely on the sales price. The good news is that none of these costs should come as a surprise because you can find them in this video, and your realtor can prepare you a net sheet that shows you a list of all of these expenses before you even list your home for sale. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you ask them to put this together for you so that you can have a better expectation of what your net earnings from sale are really going to be. If this video helped answer any of your questions, I would love if you hit that subscribe button. Every week, we're here making real estate a little easier to understand. And if you're wondering how to get as many buyers through your front door as possible once your home hits the market, check out my next video on maximizing showings. I'll see you over there.